the time has come. I am finally doing a video on the house of Guerlain. Now, you guys have requested this for a very long time. I've seen so many comments from you guys saying, please do a full house review of Guerlain and Chanel. I will do the Chanel one soon, but today I'm going to be doing a full house review and showing you guys my Guerlain. Am I annoying you already? I'm annoying myself. My Guerlain collection of fragrances. So I do have quite a few. Guerlain is easily one of my favorite fragrance houses in the entire world, going hand in hand with Chanel. Those are two of my favorite fragrance houses ever. I know a lot of people love Tom Ford. I'm trying to think of something else, but Tom Ford comes to mind as a very hyped fragrance house, and I love Tom Ford, don't get me wrong, but for me, Chanel, Guerlain, and Christian Dior are probably my three favorite designer fragrances, like fragrance houses. A lot of people do actually consider Guerlain niche. It's just up to you of what you think. They are technically a niche house because they don't do handbags or, well, they do makeup, but they don't do like fashion and stuff like that. But for me personally, because they are quite available and accessible to most people, I do personally consider Guerlain a designer, but that's just my opinion. You may have a totally different perspective than me, but easily, Guerlain is top of the top, in my opinion. Artistically, they are probably the best fragrance house in the entire world, period. I'm pretty sure they are one of the oldest fragrance houses. If I'm not wrong, it was 1828, like Guerlain was founded in 1828. I could be wrong about that, but I know that they are very old. They have been around for a very long time, and I just adore Guerlain, and you can smell in the fragrances the artistry, the history. I know that's a bit cheesy, but it's true. Like when I smell a Guerlain fragrance, and the ones that I own, you're smelling a real perfume. And that may be a little bit controversial to say, but that's just my personal opinion. So I'm going to go through all of the fragrances that I have. Let me just count them real quick. I have 9 Guerlains in my collection. I would love to own more. Like honestly guys, there are so many Guerlains on my list. I want so many. I have a lot of Guerlains on my list, like Gourmand Coquine, Iris Ganache. There are just so many, and easily, if you're in Paris, go to the Guerlain boutique. Go to the Guerlain boutique. It would be so worth it. I cannot wait to visit it myself. And yeah, so let's just get into the video. I'm just going to go through the fragrances and kind of just show you guys what Guerlains I have in my collection, which I'm pretty sure if you guys keep up with me, you will know every single one that I have, but let's just go through it anyways. Okay, so the first Guerlain that I'm going to talk about is one that you probably have heard of. It's a very popular fragrance. This is Mon Guerlain. Now this to me, oh my god, there was a time where this was like my signature scent, and there's only one reason that I don't wear this fragrance that often is because the longevity is not fantastic. I would say it lasts about 5 hours on my skin, and then I can't really smell it after that. But if it lasted longer, this would easily be my signature scent, because Mon Guerlain is incredible. To me, this is not your typical mall fragrance. This is absolutely the furthest thing from a typical mall fragrance. This is beautiful. This is beautiful, elegant, feminine, classy, sweet. It has vanilla, it has lavender, it has iris, it has tonka bean. It is the most stunning fragrance, and to me, it is kind of like a powdery aromatic vanilla, but very soft and delicate. The time that I used to wear this fragrance when I was 19, I got so many compliments that I would never exaggerate. I got so many compliments with this fragrance. You can see actually how much I've used of this one, because I really do love it a lot. So Mon Guerlain from Guerlain, beautiful fragrance. Terry Wasser is easily one of my favorite master perfumers in the entire world. If I could choose to collaborate with somebody, it might be Teddy Wasser. Maybe. I think I would definitely love to meet him and talk to him and etc. Okay, so the next fragrance is going hand in hand with Mon Guerlain. This was actually a gift to me by a subscriber. His name is O'Day, and he actually gifted this to me, which I think is the most generous and kind thing ever. Mon exclusive. Now, you guys did correct me. I didn't know this because it was a gift. This actually came out before Mon Guerlain, and Mon Guerlain is kind of a take on this fragrance. Now, if you like Mon Guerlain, you will adore this fragrance because it smells almost identical. To me personally, it smells almost identical. This is just a little bit creamier, a little bit sweeter, a little bit more gourmand to it, but they do smell very, very similar, and I often like to layer them two together. They both don't have the best longevity, which is kind of disappointing and is probably why I've stopped wearing it, because the scent itself is so stunning. It's just the longevity does bother me because I want my fragrance to last and I want it to be like, I want people to be able to smell me. So yeah, sometimes the longevity does kind of bother me a bit, but I like wearing Mon Guerlain and the Mon exclusive in more intimate situations like date night, that sort of thing. I love it. It is just the most beautiful fragrance. Again, this is just a sweeter, creamier version of Mon Guerlain. Okay, so the next one, let's talk about summer. Let's talk about summer perfumes for you people in the US right now. This is Terracotta Le Parfum. Now, this fragrance is one of my favorite to wear in the summertime. It is very tropical. Very, very tropical. Now, I've heard some people say that this smells like a grandma, that this is old, and I do agree that it is more of a mature scent, but to me, I think it's really sexy, really beautiful and perfect, like absolutely the most iconic fragrance to wear in the summertime. It's tuberose, it's gardenia, it's tiare flower. It's got that real like kind of coconutty, gardenia, floral, creamy. It's definitely got that kind of Estee Lauder bronze goddess vibe, but this is better. In my opinion, this fragrance is better. It lasts longer. On my skin, Terracotta Le Parfum again lasts around 5-6 hours, which Estee Lauder bronze goddess lasts like 1 hour on my skin. So this is my go-to for the summertime when I want to smell like a bronze goddess, like literally when I want to smell like a tanned, beautiful, exotic woman in the summertime with like body shimmer and all of that. This is a fragrance that I wear. So Terracotta Le Parfum, beautiful fragrance and so worth getting for the summertime. This one works so incredibly well on warm skin. Even the Mon Guerlain and Mon exclusive, they both kind of work really well on the warmer skin. The next fragrance that I have here is in a beautiful little bottle. This is one of their bee bottles, and I do believe that Guerlain is like streamlining their bottles, where all of their fragrances I think are soon going to be in this bee bottle type of thing, which I think is really cute. Like it's not, my aesthetic is very like clean, crisp cut, so this is not really my aesthetic, but I still think it looks so old world, so 19 something, very like old school, and I really do love that because I really love like vintage old school stuff. So this one right here is called Mademoiselle from Guerlain. Now this one is beautiful. This is sweet. There's a little bit of a green note in this fragrance, like a green plant kind of note. I think it's, what is it, galbanum. There is a galbanum note in this fragrance, which that probably doesn't make any sense to most people, but galbanum is a green type of like kind of bitter note, a little bit like Angelica. And there's also a beautiful sweet powderiness to the fragrance, like a vanilla. There's marshmallows in here for sure, and it's very delicate and very sweet. It starts off, the opening of this fragrance, you definitely get that green note, but I'm not the biggest fan personally of green fragrances. You guys know me by now. I really like my gourmands, my sweet fragrances and stuff like that. So for me, the dry down of Mademoiselle is a winner. I never would have got this fragrance if I didn't actually like it and I didn't like the dry down. The dry down is spectacular. It is sweet and delicious and powdery. This one as well has a decent longevity, I would say around 6 hours. So Mademoiselle from Guerlain, I love this fragrance so much. I don't wear it as much in the winter. It's more of like a summery spring perfume to me, even though it's quite sweet. Let's move on to my favorite collection from Guerlain. Now, I cannot say it in French and I do not want to butcher the name. So this is the Art and Materials collection, which like I said, is easily my favorite. I think it's my favorite collection, like my favorite like exclusive collection from Guerlain. The first fragrance that I have from the Art and Materials collection is Tonka Imperial. Said that really weird. Tonka Imperial. Now this is hands down my favorite tonka bean fragrance. I know a lot of people compare and compete this fragrance with Fève Delicious from Christian Dior. If I had to choose one, out of Tonka Imperial or Fève, if I could only own one, I would choose Tonka Imperial. Almond and tonka bean, it's creamy, it's sweet. Oh, it is just heavenly. And I would say, like I said, guys, this is one of the best tonka bean fragrances that I've ever smelled. I own Fucking Fabulous from Tom Ford. I always hate saying that. Anyway, Fev, and this is my favorite. My favorite tonka bean fragrance is Guerlain Tonka Imperial. It's got like a butterscotch, creamy tonka bean vibe, and it is so divine, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the note of tonka bean. And I'm going to show you guys right now. This is the old packaging and the old formulation of this line, and this is the newer one. I don't know if the formulations have been changed. I believe they probably would have been if they've changed packaging and stuff. I could be wrong, but anyways, Mangalon is never going to produce bad. Like, they're just not. So the next fragrance that I have in the Art Materials collection is Spiritus Double Vanille. Now this one is one of my favorite vanillas. I'm going to be talking about another one next. One of my favorites. This is boozy, it's spicy, it's got a bit of a, not an anesthetic smell to it in the beginning, but kind of a little bit, like a little bit. There's definitely something in the top of this fragrance that you have to kind of let it kind of settle down. You definitely have to let this fragrance settle down, and it is incredible. There's incense, pink pepper, vanilla, it's boozy, a little bit spicy. It's got definitely a sweetness, but it's not like an overly sweet vanilla fragrance. It's not like a sickly cozy vanilla. To me, this is a sexy, boozy, spicy vanilla, and it is insane. You will hear a lot of people talk about this fragrance when it comes to Guerlain and when it comes to vanillas, because a lot of people do really adore and rate this fragrance when it comes to a vanilla fragrance. But the next fragrance that I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite vanilla out of the two. This one is Angelique Noir. To me, I have to be honest with you guys, this is probably my favorite fragrance from the House of Guerlain, and that is huge. That is a huge statement to make, because I actually haven't tried Gourmand Coquine or Iris Ganache. I really do want to own those two, but if I had to say out of my fragrances, which one is my favorite, Angelique Noir comes to mind straight away. And I'm going to be honest, I savor this fragrance. I savor it because I love it that much. I would love for this to be my signature scent, but I'm so scared because I'm not sure how many of this formulation of Angelique Noir is left. I'm not really sure. So Angelique Noir, how does it smell to me? This is a beautiful, cozy, sweet, luxurious, creamy, expensive vanilla fragrance. Now there is, like the Mademoiselle Guerlain, there is a green note in the top of this fragrance. When you first spray it, you're gonna get kind of like a bitter green note from the Angelica, but once it settles down, once it settles into your skin, all you're gonna get is a beautiful, cozy, luxurious, creamy, expensive vanilla. Oh my god, oh my god. Yeah. I'm done. This fragrance is heaven to me. And like I said, a lot of Guerlain fragrances are very transforming. They start off one way, you get the top note, you get the middle note, and you get the base note, which a lot of fragrances are not like that. They just smell exactly the same throughout their period on your skin. They just smell like one specific thing, or they just smell the same. Whereas a lot of my Guerlains on my skin, I can smell the top note, I can smell the middle notes, and I can smell the dry down. And that's why I really love them. And to me, Guerlain is such a special house to me. And Angelique Noir is easily, I think it's my favorite for sure. It's definitely one of my favorites. So Angelique Noir from Guerlain, get on it if you like vanilla. But like I said, you gotta work with it a bit, because when I first tried this fragrance, I did not like it. And that is me being honest. I did not like this fragrance when I first tried it. But I remember I sprayed it on my skin and I smelled it and I was like, oh my god, like, what is this? I do not like this at all. I came back to it a few hours later and I was like, oh my god, what fragrance did I just spray there? This is incredible. What is that? And I realized it was Angelique Noir, but it had just kind of dried down and settled, and I was just in love. From that moment, I was in love with this fragrance and I have never put it down since. So the next fragrance that I have here, this one is an acquired one. Definitely one of the more unique fragrances that I'm about to talk about. And this fragrance is called Rose Barbar or Rose Barbare. I never know how to pronounce it. Oh yeah, this fragrance is stunning. Now this one to me is very niche. This is definitely one that I don't see, it's not like a Mon Guerlain. It's not going to appeal to everyone. This one is definitely more of a unique one, which to me, most of Guerlain's fragrances are very unique and very different. Like I don't see the regular everyday person loving Guerlain fragrances, but that's just what I think. This fragrance right here to me is definitely more of an acquired fragrance and I adore it. This is Rose Barbar, like I said, and this was actually composed by Francis Kurkdjian. The nose behind this is Francis Kurkdjian, which if you like his fragrances, you probably will love this one. This is stunning. It is rose, honey, aldehydes, it's powdery, it's just, I can't even explain this fragrance. It's super, super unique to me, but it's definitely a rose-based fragrance. You do get the honey, you definitely get like a sweetness, and you do get the aldehydes, which I wasn't. I used to not be a big fan of aldehydes, but as I've gotten more mature and as I've smelled more and more fragrances, I really do appreciate aldehydes. Even in Chanel No. 5, I have become a bit of a fan of aldehydes, and to me, this fragrance is just incredible. It's a masterpiece. It is more of an acquired one, and I think it's not for just some, everyday person who isn't really into fragrances. I think this one will be for the real fragrance lovers. It's got a bit of like a soapiness to it, but it's also got a sweetness and a powderiness. Oh, aldehydic. It's just incredible. So get on that one. The final Guerlain that I own is from the Deserts d'Orient collection, and this one is Rose Nacré du Desert. Did you guys like my accent? I'm trying to pronounce it. Rose Nacré du Desert. Now I love this bottle. I think it is so classy and so beautiful, and you will see from this fragrance that I don't wear this one too often because it is so strong. This fragrance is Middle Eastern, rose, oud, minimal sweetness. There is almost near to no sweetness in this fragrance. It is a true rose and oud combination. It's rose, patchouli, oud. I think there's saffron. I could be wrong. It's powdery. It's like a real rose and oud combination. There is nothing synthetic about this fragrance. It is so natural smelling, so real, and like a real perfume. Like it is a real master perfume. This is rose, like I said, a real rose oud combination. You get a bit of a greenness. You definitely get the oud. And it is very strong, very strong, very powdery. For me, I have to wait for this one to settle into my skin because it can be really strong and very overpowering. But to me, this is a night out. You're in Chanel or you're in your Christian Louboutins and you throw on Rose Nacré du Desert and it pairs perfectly with what you're wearing. You can't just wear this one casually or to, I don't know, the club. This is not that sort of fragrance. This is high class event, businesswoman, CEO, expensive, and I love this fragrance, but like I said, I don't find many occasions to wear it because I don't often get like dressed to the nines. But if I did, this would be the fragrance that I would wear. Imagine Oud Satin Mood from Maison Francis Kurkdjian with no sweetness at all. Imagine Oud Satin Mood from Maison Francis Kurkdjian stripped back with no sweetness. No vanilla, no violet, no benzoin, just rose and oud. That's what this is. It is a true Middle Eastern rose and oud fragrance for an expensive queen. That is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my Guerlains because apparently you guys really wanted to see my Guerlain collection and what Guerlains I own. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it and I hope it was worth the wait. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.